time I have to do every time I have to do a video, the disrespect of these chickens is beyond me. Ngiyavuselele kaya Thokoza Understanding. Phuma nkonzo. Serious yazi ungafunga ukuthi lento ngenza amabomu. Le nkukhu ziyisa. Khipheni unkonzo. Habe. Khipheni. Ngiyavuselela impela nje emakhaya ngiyathemba ukuthi wonke umuntu uyaphila. Ne righty. A lot has happened. Yo, it's a whole video and a whole story on its own. But ngoba sihamba namadlozi, sihamba namathongo, sihamba neithunywa, sihamba namanono, siyaphila, si-righty. You know, I had this week I decided to touch on an element of myself and utilize an element of myself that bengayitshela ukuthi ngizoyisebenzisa, and to have a vision, distinctly speaking on amakholwa ukuthi I'm going to have 3 specific amakholwa azofika la kunina afuna enze ngathi afuna usizo kanti azongcindezela kahle kahle azongithakatha amakholwa Thokoza and then I got shown labafundisi laba abazobe behlangene ngami bethumela amakholwa. It just it leaves me defeated because it's a reminder ukuthi, you know, don't assume ukuthi ngoba inkinga zisedlozini, inkinga zikhona nasesontweni. Because I'm only now having this dream and this vision because I've started churching and I've started basically ukuzama ukuqhuba lento abangibizele yona ukuthi okay fane ngihole ibandla. But we face challenges, we power through. Njoba ningibona sengiqalile futhi ngiyavumbuka. You know, it's challenges. Mina-ke, I'm not one to try and get rid of my scars. Zasedlozini, zaseyithunyweni. I am one ukuthi this is what it is. And futhi masese right so isikhathi ukuthi disappears will disappear. But it's evidence that no matter what's happening, mozoqina uguqe uncenge, they will help you, they will protect you, and they will push you through. So as I had promised, sizoqhuba builder on content with regards to content isiThunywa and speaking on izimo zesiThunywa. And what I want to specifically focus on today is Ukuqhuma kwesiThunywa. So I'm going to break up the content, and today specifically, that's all I'm going to focus on. That's all I'm going to focus on. Because I think the first step of understanding isiThunywa is understanding Ukuqhuma kwaso. Now, I think I've spoken a little bit about the fact that ngumuntu wakhula ekhaya kusindisiwe. But I was fortunate enough. Ngawahamba amasonto. My mom was not very church loyal. Sinenkonzo yasekhaya esikhule ngayo sasi gospel. I will save this video because ekhaya sasi gospel, and igospel ibisebenzisana ne Faith Mission, ibisebenzisana ne was it Faith Mission and I think Apostles of God. Uthi angekho sure kahle lapho. Thokhona umanga buyang specifyel yabo. So, and my grandfather wayemfundisi, and my uncles babefundisi, except for the alcoholic one, of which the alcoholic one standwa senhliziyo yami, because the honesty in that man is beyond. But yeah, abamalum bami babefundisi, and church nje kwakuyimpilo yethu ukhulwa ama yomama umfundisi, or khona umamkhulu wami that Angazi noma wafundela ukufundisa, I don't know. I think the lack of interest kwabantu basekhaya are just nje. Because mina, I believe that, mekuthiwa uNkulunkulu ungaphakathi kuwena. I truly believe in that. Ukuthi uNkulunkulu sihamba naye. Yabo le nto uNkulunkulu ukuyindlela esiphila ngayo, uyithina. Yabo le nto. When you look into my eyes, you need to see God in them. And if you don't see God in them, there's a problem. So yeah, umana ke wayengekho loyally sikhula nje mekuthi akayizayoni sasonta nje ezayoni isikhathi eside ngathi sisihlala kaMlungu ngathi uma isenza umlungu sihlala kaMlungu angangisonta emarumeni mina personally mina kuphela futhi ekhaya uqoqana nabangani enihambeni yamarumeni and we are taught to question and ask because ngangihamba lento I'm sure abantu abasonta emarumeni bazoyazi lento on Fridays khona into ekuthiwa catechism and sasifunda ngoNkulunkulu and Jesus nje sifunda ngeBhayibheli and so forth and I think that's where I got to understand ukuthi amaBhayibheli ahlukene khona leli limnyama ebhala Holy Bible khona leli King James bese kuba khona le Bible lasemarumeni li somewhere angisazi nothi ke but I think elikama emzini wama so I got taught to question. Yabo I got taught to question, I got taught ukuthi kulungile ukufuna ukunderstand and I think sometimes sikisifunda iBhayibheli noma isonto emasontweni we uyatshelwa ngoNkulunkulu uyatshelwa ngoJesu and you can't have questions and for me it's I need to understand if wena uzothi mina ku wrong ukuthi ubuke kamakhelwane enuhalele impilo yakhe uhalele izinto zakhe but ulala nonkosikazi wamngani wakho ohlala kamakhelwane I have a problem. I want to question you as a leader, a spiritual leader. And then you must question kwakuthiwana enkonzweni akufanele uzobheka ukuthi umfundisi uthe uwenzani. Fanele ulalela ukuthi umfundisi utheni. Angikaze ngikholelwe leyo nto. Since ebuncaneni bami angikaze ngikholelwe leyo nto. Ukuthi umuntu ufanele ulalela ukuthi utheni. For me, khona ngizo understand uNkulunkulu kuwena. Fanele into oyishilo nento oyenzayo kube into eyodwa. You cannot say one thing and do another thing. Akusebenzi kanjalo. Because then kumina kusho ukuthi uNkulunkulu akasekho kuwena. So through that and growing and understanding God through my own definitions and actually understanding God mengifunda iBhayibheli ngikwazi ukuspot amanga ngangifunda iBhayibheli kube khona into ezothi kumina lento akuyona. And another thing la ngangibona khona ukuthi lento akuyona ngeke ukuthi umfundisi A umfundisi B umfundisi C umfundisi D bafunda iBhayibheli iverse elilodwa and lelo verse bakwazi ukuthi balisebenzise ngendlela ethandwa yibona ukuze izophusha lento abafuna ukuyiphusha. That can't be real. Yabo, that's why I think kukhona ivideo ngangayenza ngasho ukuthi eBhayibhelini ngingilandela imithetho yakhona and ngingilandela imfundiso zakhona because those things do not change whether uzichaza ngesizulu noma uzichaza ngesingisi noma uzichaza ngesibhunu whatever uzichaza ngaso ayishintshe lezo zinto imfundiso remain the same and that tells me ukuthi that is the truth. If something can be interpreted in different ways, that's no longer the truth. That is somebody specifically putting something endaweni khona izokwazi ukuthi iseve iagenda yakhe. Because we also need to understand ukuthi iBhayibheli labhalwa abantu. It's a book that was written by people in an interpretation or understanding yabo ngendlela izimo ezenzeka ngayo. And we also need to understand ukuthi, and by the way, ngiyazenza lama video ningangithathi nyongiqhathanisa no sibanibani osemakhosini kephi nakephi ukuthi noma umfundisi ubani cha mina ngisho ngendlela engiunderstanda ngayo and izo understand lento engizoyikhuluma izo understand abantu abayizwayo lento engiyizwayo ningafuni ukungiqhatha nabantu nezimpi mina already engidila nazo. Ningafuni ukungifaka kwezinye izimpi ngisaxakwa izami ngisadilwa nezami. Molo Thokoza. So yeah, I just got to understand no lento le kahle into la ezweni indle emnyama. And that includes places like Egypt, places like Israel, places like Africa. Because as you come down low line loyo, indle emnyama yonke leyo ukuthi indle emnyama caramel noma indle emnyama uchocolate noma indle emnyama beige kanjani but indle emnyama sonke. And I got to understand that these stories were of African people. Angifuni ukuthi black people. Angithandi kahle lelo gama, but it was of African people. Because you also need to understand kune story like eBhayibhelini ekhuluma ngoSamson. uSamson ukuthi uNkulunkulu wamupha amandla and amandla akhe ayelele enyweleni. And you have to understand with black people everywhere noma ungayikuliphi izwe enabantu abamnyama, there is significance, there's ukubaluleka kwezinywele zomuntu noma zomntwana. Uyayibona lento abanye baze moqala ugunda bayazi inywele lokuqala abatsikayo balibopha balibeke for whatever cultural reason. So iBhayibheli fanele ubuye ulifunde ngaleyo understanding ukuthi into eziningi zisuke kuyindaba zethu ezindleni emnyama zathathwa zabekwa. But ke just the background. So yeah, idlozi ke lami isithunywa sami saqhuma. One day kwakhona umuntu wayengithakatha owayeseduze nami omakhelwane ngisahlala kama. And in the middle of the night angithi umuntu mekuthakathi you have to understand ucindezela idlozi kakhulu, not isithunywa. Isithunywa sisebenza umoya ongcwele ngiyakhuleka yabo, and ayikho into ongayenza umkhuleko into ephuma ngaphakathi kwene ekujuleni kwakho kwenhliziyo uyabo. So kwakhona umuntu wayengithakatha wangenza ukuthi ngingakwazi ukubona emehlweni njengoba ngingakwazi ukubona, so fanele ngibone ngani, fanele ngibone ngesimo somoya. So ngavele kwavuka umkhuleko ngathandaza ngakhuleka, ngathi ngithandaza saqala isiprofeto saphuma. Ngathi siphuma, if I can tell you ngangakangeni ngisho na kahle ephehlweni, ngangisavele ngekhanda ephehlweni. From that moment on isiprofeto sami asiphindanga sakwazi ukuvaleka. So you need to understand, that's why when I do these videos ngihlezi ngisho ukuthi umkhuleko ukuwena, izinto zakho zilele kuwena, vusa lezi zinto ezilele, uthandaze, uphahle, ukhona ukuthi ukhulume nalokhu ohamba nakho already, ngoba once wakwazi ukuvusa isithunywa sakho umuntu wesithunywa. Because we also need to understand isithunywa asikho wonke umuntu. Khona abantu abalele edlozini, kube khona abantu abalele ezithunyweni, khona abantu abalele indawo zombili. Make sure idlozi isithunywa sihlezi sikhona. So makhona ukuthi usiphakamise sona usheshe usunderstand, uyakhona ukuthi ngisho ucindezelekile edlozini ukwazi ukuthi uyilwe lempi ngoba uzobukhombiswa impi yakho ngesithunywa, and then bese uyadila ke ngaye edlozini. That's how you balance your life umuntu ophatha kokubili. Indlela isithunywa okhona ukuthi usiqhumise ngayo. Khona abantu abaphiwa umthandazo ukuthandaza. Khona abantu abaphiwa ukuthi mofunda iBhayibheli ne, and uzama ukujulela and understand iBhayibheli and ube nezinto engathi uyazibuza uyaziphendula. Leo debate eyenzeka ngaphakathi kuwena iyasikhulisa isithunywa sakho ukuthi sizama ukuthi sikuhlanganise. Uyayibona lento, sihlangane nawe ngaphakathi kwena ukuthi sikwazi ukuthi masikhulume. Uyayibona lento, that's why uthola ukuthi emini kube ngathi wehlelwa ukuzelwa noma wehlela ukuthi engathi ushawe siyezi. Yabo, lesiyezi sifuna ukukushaya ukuthi engathi ungahlala phansi unabe engathi uba ne slow down. Allowing that to happen. Abantu abaningi bayalwa naleyo nto. You shouldn't fight that. If you feel dizzy and you feel like no, I need to sit down ngicabanga during the day, isikhathi esiningi that is isithunywa fighting to come through and fighting to communicate with you. ukulalela igospel, yabo, ukulalela igospel and finding songs that appeal to you, because you need to understand igospel khona just like idlozi khona amacula asheshayo, right? Akwenza ukuthi engathi uyagijima, right? Umgido wakho uyagijima. Bese kuba khona abantu edlozini abathanda ungathi bayajula. Yebo lento bajule. It's the same thing nasesithunyweni. That indicates ukuthi unesithunywa esisebenza kanjani, whether umuntu esithanda ukujula silalelo umculo engathi uhamba kancane engathi islow, noma uthanda umculo engathi yabo lo mculo wasematendeni engathi ungalokhu ugquma nje yabo khona abantu abavuka kanjalo. You need to understand the communication esithunyweni ukuze into yakhe izokhona ukuthi iphakame ngendlela. Yebo lona. So as much as you'll spend time trying to understand idlozi, also spend time trying to understand isiThunywa, because mokuthi uyazibona izembatho uhlezi ubona mhlawumbe usesontweni or ufake iphika or ufake ujazi, isiThunywa sikhona. If umuntu who is drawn to impophoma or umfula or ulwandle, there's a chance ukuthi nesithunywa sikhona. But unless umozofika kule ndawo wazi ukuthi wena fanele uphahlele idlozi ungayiphahleli isithunywa, you'll never get to understand. Because also umthandazo umuntu vele ayitshela ukuthi because athi angikwazi ukuthandaza, meyathi nje inkosi ngiyabonga ukuthi ngivukile ngiyaphila, amen, ayitshela ukuthi yena umsebenzi wakhe akawenzanga. And it's not like that. Not all of us can pray. Mina angikho mandla emthandazweni, angikho, but ngimandla ekushumayeleni, ngiyashumayela. I've been given the gift of understanding, because even ukuhlabelela angikwazi ukuhlabelela. Ungasho ukuthi ngikuculela, angikwazi ukucula. It's not my thing. So you just need to understand and grow and focus on, because abantu abaningi like to focus on ukuyihlupheni ngedlozi instead of ukuthi understand ukuthi nginaso yini isithunywa na. Mengithandaza kwenzekalani, mengifunda iBhayibheli kwenzekani, yabo, mengemanzini ngiyokhuleka khona noma ayongishaya nje amanzi empophoma kwenzakalani. And those are the ways to ukuthi uqale uzijwayeze isimo sakho somoya. And then bese kuba khona ukuhambe. Umuntu ohamba nedlozi, isithunywa sakho must ukuthi usihlanganise nedlozi, because if you don't sizokucindezela. Ngoba naso sizofuna ukuphakama sikhona ukuthi sikukhombise ukuthi nami nginomsebenzi. Why wami umsebenzi unganakwa? Bese uyavaleka edlozini. Kube ngathi uthakathiwe kanti isithunywa sakho asihlanganiswanga nedlozi. So the time ungene ephehlweni, uyabo, fane because uyakwazi ukul-add ukuhamba. People think that okay, because isithunywa sami asivelanga, without fail iladi fanele lenziwe, irregardless ukuthi mhlambe unedlozi kuphela, whatever the case may be, iladi fanele lenziwe. And every time ade uphehla ukhambe, mawaqeda ukuphehla ukhamba lakho la madlozi kwabantu abathwasayo or abantu asebadla gobonge and all of that, they'll understand. Khona umuthi okuwuphehle mothwas. So made uqeda ukuwuphehla lo muthi loyo, then you do your prayers. Ulayitha amakhandlela akho elimhlophe neliyelo or ulayitha elimhlophe kuphela, it just depends. Ukhona ukuthi ukhuleke, ukhona ukuthi even sometimes uxoxe. Umthandazo, it's not me saying, God, thank you, God, can I please have. Abantu bayitshela ukuthi uma uthandaza afana either ubonge or ucele. Sometimes uxoxa ngathi ukhuluma nomngane wakho, because sometimes uma ungene ephehlweni ungasenamngane, noma mawuphathe ephehlweni awunamngane. So you need to ukuthi uvule isifuba sakho, uvumele ukuthi lengelo siphakame. Uthi anginabani, imina nani. Ngicela ukuthi maniphakame esimeni sami somoya. Ningikhombisa ukuthi nifunani ngami. Nixoxe nami mekuthi khona la ngingaboni khona, nifike nizongibonisa. Ningangishingi ngimpuphuthe ngingaboni. Yebo lena. Uxoxe nomuntu, mawuxoxa and try to build and connect emotionally. Leyo nto iyakulekelela ekutheni ukuthi isithunywa sakho siphakame, because emotional connection will come esithunyweni. It will come naturally. Anake idlozi liyajabula ukuthi ushayela ukhamba uphuza umuthi uyaphalaza or abanye bathi ukugabha uyagabha uyafutha so uyaphalaza uyaqhuma jabula idlozi ubushaye nezimbiza zikafara uphuza utshwala lijabula idlozi. IsiThunywa zonke lezi zinto doesn't matter. But sifuna ukuthi uxoxe ubabize ubagogo nomkhulu zivezeni phambi kwami. Anikhona ukuthi ngikhulume nami. Uyayibona lento ngiyanibiza nina amanono akekho onganawo amanono. Yabo. Cause kuyafana nomndiki nomndawo akekho onganabo gogo nomkhulu edlozini. So amanono akhona ukuthi isithunywa sikhona or not sizobonakala ngendlela kwabanye, but inono likhona because izingelosi ekhaya ngeke zingakhona kuze abantwana abebehamba emhlabeni bayabe izingelosi. So ekhaya akekho ukuthi akaze ngashona izingane. It doesn't happen. So ukukhuluma and connect. And when you do that, bakhona ukuthi umuntu lo onozwelo o lo ngisho ubona uphuphithusi. Uphuphithusi chaza kona ukuthi sikhona isithunywa. And even ujazi wako, the ujazi olubonayo, you know, I had umuntu owafika la kumina unejazi wethunywa, but kune party la ehlangana eliveza into zedlozi. Yabona. And into zedlozi ezenziwanga, uyabo. So manje sekuyidlozi elicindezela isithunywa sakho ukuthi angakwazi ukuthi asebenze or abone or izinto ehambe kahle. And it happens the same way esithunyweni. Nesithunywa manje asifuna ukusebenza because idlozi asilazi. Yabo asimazi lo muntu. So we need to connect these people. And uKhambe does that. For umntwana ohamba nedlozi nesithunywa. You need ukuthi ulenze ukhamba lesithunywa. Ulidle. And ukhamba lesithunywa it differs per isigodlo. Yabo. Aso akulona into engagxila ngayo mhlambe ngichaza ukuthi into kanjani. But iyahluka. But must ukuthi ludliwe ukhamba lesithunywa khona izokwazi ukuthi bahlanganise labantu nedlozi ukwazi ukuthi kuhambe kuphakame kulekelelane. And umuntu wesithunywa whether unedlozi lamanzi or not kubalekile ukuthi ahambe amanzi and awahambe wonke because isithunywa sivuselelwa yonke indawo. Isithunywa sisebenza ngamanzi. Iwasho ziyeza especially uma umuntu onedlozi then iwasho zizobe part and parcel. Uyabo. Kodwa nje kakhulukazi into ulapha ngayo uma umuntu wesithunywa is idlozi. And manje isithunywa kunomkhuba okwenzeke la. Okudala ukuthi izithunywa zenu zigcine ngathi nazo ziyithwalo kwazona, engathi ziphenduliwe zibolile izithunywa. Umuntu afike enze umsebenzi wokuvala idlozi and not connect with idlozi. And then kube ngathi usebenza ngesithunywa. And you can't uvale one half of you and uvule another. Akwenzeki. And the minute you do that, kusuke kusengena umuthi ongcolile egazini. Leyo nto liyangcolisa isithunywa. Isithunywa sikufuna ukungcola. Isithunywa sifuna into clean at all times. So must ukuthi understand ukuthi into ophila ngayo mokuthi umuntu osithunywa amakhandlela, amanzi and ukhamba. Ubahlanganise. And kukhona abantu abenzelwa amagobongo hayi ukuthi uzoba umntwana wedlozi but uthola ukuthi wenza igobongo but uzosebenza ngesithunywa. Lo muntu uyadinga ukuhamba lesithunywa so that ezokhona ukuthi azi ukuthi isithunywa sakhe sibuye siconnect edlozini kukhona ukuthi not 5 years later lo muntu lo usecindezelekile useyagula useqala phansi ufana yodla ukhamba ukwazi ukuthi and some people end up never eating ukhamba. Ukhamba liyakulekelela ukuthi ngisho isithunywa sakho mayade singabonakali sikhona ukuthi siphakame siqhume ngendlela because isithunywa uthola ukuthi sicindezelwe idlozi. Okay, khona umuntu obuzayo la gogo uthi can one come to you for isithunywa or you shown the right person? Okay, umthetho uthi la ophakamisa idlozi lakho khona Fane kube la ophakamisa isithunywa sakho khona. Because cannot uma wakho wasedlozini or ubaba wakho wasedlozini abe nedlozi angabi nesithunywa mekuthi wena unedlozi nesithunywa. But kukhona abantu abangasiphakamisanga isithunywa sabo. But banaso, it's not that abanaso, but abasiphakamisanga, baphakamisa idlozi kuphela, basebenza ngedlozi kuphela. So labo bantu abakwazi ukuthi bangakuphakamisela isithunywa. Uyayizwa lento? So then you end up having to find somebody ozokhona ukuthi akuphakamisela isithunywa. So that's the only time you go out of in la owenza khona into zakho zedlozi ukuthi uyolekelelwa ngendaba yesithunywa. But you also need to understand ukuthi you don't just go to anybody ngoba nakho efaka isiphiko esiyelo or efaka ujazi wesithunywa. That person needs to also ukuthi connect nawe edlozini. Because it's almost like ukuzama ukulungisela impande by somebody that does not understand impande yakho. It can't work. Uyabona? It's almost like umuntu omnyama uyokumlungu ukuthi ayokwenzela usiko. Umlungu ngiyaza understand. Umlungu nabo banamasiko awo, amandiya banamasiko abo. Can't ukuthi afika azokulungisela leyo nto. It just doesn't work. Yabo. So you need ukuthi kuba umuntu mokuthi uzongalungiselwa khona abantu ogobela that are honest, that will tell ingane zabo ukuthi lalela mina isithunywa sami angisiphakamisanga. In fact, there's even ogobela abasho ukuthi mina ngiye emanzini. So mekuthi idlozi lakho lizodinga izinto ezokuyisa emanzini, then we need to find somebody, or you need to find somebody ozokhona ukuthi akuyise emanzini. Yabo. If you have umuntu honest. Yabo. Because another thing engiyibambe ukuthi abantu umuntu agezwe kodwa akafakwa phakathi megezwa, ugezwa la esihlabathini nama ngisho agezwe esihlabathini yini oyigezayo uguqile la eceleni fanele ungene phakathi inside emanzini. That's how uvusa into yakho. Uyabo. Ungena phakathi emanzini because nami olwandle mengezwe umuntu olwandle singena phakathi olwandle. We don't go obviously too far because there are people with problems and akufanele sishukumise too much those problems until we have fixed them. But ungena phakathi la ukhona khona ukuthi kuhlezi kumanzi. Yabo. Ungene bese uyageza lapho umuntu. Uyabo. So you need to understand ukuthi in everything oyenzayo mekuthi kuthiwa ukugcwalisa umuntu uyagcwalisa la kwashoda khona, but it needs to be somebody oconnecta naye. Yabo. Edlozini as well, because lezi zinto ziyabalansana. Even if uyela ukuthi uzodla ukhamba lesithunywa kuphela, but it still needs to be somebody that will connect with you edlozini, because then they'll understand ukuthi they'll understand ukuthi into yakho idinga ukuthi yenzeke for how long and kanjani, and what do you need before they just do that for you, by understanding idlozi lakho first. Yabo. Akukho oku more important khona abantu abayitshela ukuthi kunomkhuba ukuthi one is more important than the other. Whether isithunywa sakho into ozosebenza ngaso kakhulu noma idlozi lakho ezosebenza kakhulu, but must ukuthi isiphakanyiswe, otherwise leyo nto iyakuhluphekisa down the line. That's why you'll find some people saying isithunywa sagulisa. Isithunywa bazalwana asigulisi. Umoya ohlangane nesithunywa, if it's isithunywa related, awuguli. Awubunalutho physically. It's just that your emotions are a lot, but awubunalutho physically. The only time isithunywa can be a problem is if sisebenza kube ngathi unempi ngaphakathi kuwena, where nasi isithunywa nanti idlozi and abantu abahlanganiswayo. Idlozi lazi ukuthi ilona elibalekile. Isithunywa sithi hayibo phela mina nginomsebenzi wokuthi. Uyabo. Then there's this fight within you, and mekuliwa ngaphakathi kwena emathongweni uyashayeka nawe. You feel the fight, you feel the warfare physically, and that's why kugcine sengathi uyagula and bese kuthi uguliswe isithunywa ngoba isithunywa usiphakamisanga. Kanti ngoba labantu ohamba nabo esithunyweni nasedlozini awubahlanganisile. But you need to build that relationship esithunyweni, because nizofika ezithunyweni zenu zingenzelwa noma zingaphakanyiswa noma zigcina ngasiqhumanga isithunywa, bese 5 years 10 years ade waphothula usifaka phansi uyophinda esigodlweni uyowenza lo msebenzi, because you didn't try to understand. You didn't try to understand from the beginning ukuthi isithunywa sakho sisebenza kanjani. That's why you'll find ukuthi abanye abantu uma benale nkinga lena, abanye abantu umuntu uyakhona ukuthi ahambe iminyaka engakaza thwase, yabo lento, because uyagida wenzani esontweni, because isithunywa si powerful. Mina isithunywa sami si powerful, ama visions ahleze fika, yabo. Busuku nemini, it doesn't matter, yafika ama visions mekufanele afike, yabo, because of isithunywa sami indlela esiphakame ngayo. And that only comes from understanding. You can't ma umuntu oyesithunywa just accept information onikwa yona, because isithunywa sakho izithunywa zethu aziphiwanga into efanayo. Njoba ngichaze sami siyaprofeta, so ngiyahlola ngesithunywa. Siyaprofeta, isithunywa sami siyashumayela, yabo. Isithunywa sami siyalapha. Those are my jobs esithunyweni, uyabo. Angiphiwanga mina, if ulindele ukuthi uzothandazela for 5 hours, mokuthi ulinde uzothandazela for 5 hours, mina I'm not the one, angikwazi ukuthandaza. Mina mengithe nje Nkosi ngiyanxusa nina izithunywa sondelani enzani ukuthi nokuthi ngibeka ithuse lami la gaya umsebenzi emanzini. Hayi mina I'm done, umsebenzi wami ukhikile, yabo. But umkhwenyana wami is different. Uyakhona ukuthandazela umuntu ngize ngihlale ngimbuke nami ngithi oh kodwa Nkosi wathandaza nangumuntu. Hey, amen. You know, and I'm just like, at least he can do it. I can't do it. And it's okay. Abantu bayitshela ukuthi ukuthandaza, yabo, futhi kulama sonto ngikhula ngangize ngikwazi ukulala ngiphinde ngivuke, yabo. Uthola ukuthi hayibo kusathandazwa ngiphinde ngibudonse kancane ngilale. Not out of disrespect, but I understand mina ukuthi yini le thandazelwayo for 2 hours. Yabo. I got to understand ukuthi thina sonke sinama love language angafani. Isithunywa sami sisebenza kanje, asakho mhlawumbe siphiwe ukuthandaza, ungashaya umkholeko lo wa 6 to 6 uwe lo uyathandaza. Isiphiwo sakho leso, uzothandazela abantu baphile. Mina ukhulu wami ikhona ukuthi athandazela umuntu athola umntwana ade ngabathola abantwana, amthandazele ukuphela ukugula emzimbeni. Khona abantu abaphiwe lokho, and that's okay. It's just that sonke sihlezi sifuna more than what we are. But we also need to understand iphiwo zasedlozini zike zicishe ifane nesiphiwo sakho sasesithunyweni uma umuntu ophatha kokubili. Njengami mina ngiphatha nginedlozi nginesithunywa, so iphiwo zami zasedlozini zizocishe zilekelele lapha esithunyweni, ngoba kufanele idlozi mele powerful nesithunywa phela fanele sibe kuleyo level ye power, otherwise sizoba weak isithunywa bese kufana nokuthi into engekho. So it needs to work hand in hand. So edlozini ngenza u1 u2 u3, so nasesithunyweni u1 u2 u3 kukhona ukuthi kuqhube kubonakala ukuthi no amandla akhona lana. But abanye uthola they go years not understanding bane ithunywa, because vele isithunywa sabo it's not into dominant, ayikho into emandla, into eyaphakanyiswa ngeladi yaba right. And esikhathi esiningi labo bantu uthola ukuthi babizela ukuthi inyanga kakhulu, ukuthi ubizela ukuthi uzobe inyanga. Isikhathi esiningi isithunywa sakho siyathandaza as prophet, because idlozi lakho aliprofeti. If idlozi lingaprofeti ngeke uzuze uprofet esithunyweni, because that means ukuthi then you are gifted like isangoma. But if idlozi lakho lihlola, then isithunywa sakho sizohlola naso, because khona la bayalekelela nangithi labantu khona la idlozi elikhathala khona elifuna ukuphumula li rest. Isithunywa ke siyaphakama sithi hayi phela fanele siqhube lo msebenzi, so ukhona ukuthi uqhubeke uhlolela abantu. Sometimes idlozi lishawa izimpi, uthola ukuthi njoba njengathi nje sithakathwa nje, yabo, shawa izimpi, idlozi fanele idile nalezo zimpi, kodwa isithunywa nasi fanele sazi ukuthi hayibo naba abantu bengena fanele sibaprofethele sibasize kukhona ukuthi basizakale ngaphansi kwaleli ikhaya. So uma ukuthi uyisangoma isikhathi siningi isithunywa sakho sizoprofetha. Mekuthi uyinyanga isikhathi siningi isithunywa sakho sizothandaza, sizolapha ngokuthi sumthandazi. But the first step is ukusiqhumisa isithunywa sakho, siqhume, siphakame, sikhulume. And if that doesn't happen, that means when there's something you are not doing. Because abantu bayathanda or kunalento ukuthi umuntu acabanga ukuthi ucindezeliwe isithunywa sakho, sivaliwe isithunywa. Isithunywa sinzima kabi ukusivala. Angazi ukuthi umuntu mhlambe ngabe udinga into enjani ukuthi angavala isithunywa. Because yinto esebenza ngomthandazo, esebenza ngokuhlabelela, esebenza ngokushumayela. Leyo nto uzothi uyivala kanjani unless awusabona emehlweni awusakwazi ukufunda iBhayibheli. Unless awusakwazi ukuthi ukhuleke ukhiphe okusenhlizweni ukhuluma noNkulunkulu umvela inqanga. Unless it's that, then angi-understand mina umuntu umethi isithunywa sami savala, isithunywa sivaleke. But now emokuthi vele uyanqena ukuyilwela into yakho, then uzothi into yakho ivaliwe. Into evalwa yidlozi. And it's not necessarily ukuthi liyavala but liyacindezela. And then idlozi kuze likulekelele ukuthi melibona ukuthi le ndawo engikuyona kahle kahle ayikho right. Liyahoxa, lihlehle, lithule, lihlale kuwena, lithulele, lingaziveza ukuthi ngikhona. Abantu abazocindezeleka amandiki namandawo yilabantu ohamba nabo. I actually had this conversation and I tried to explain ukuthi you need to understand idlozi lakho alivele qhume. Uyabo, alivele qhume la ngekho right khona. Idlozi liveza mase kubona ukuthi sekuyisikhathi ukuthi ngiveze. Abantu abayivezayo kuwena ogogo nomkhulu ohamba nabo abafike bakufaka endleleni ukuze ukwazi ukuthi uhambe uyohlola ubone ukuthi no ngumntwana wethongo mina. Nasisithunyweni into kanjalo. Isithunywa sakho khona la isobuye isijudge khona ukuthi no kunokufa la. So into esoyenza ukuthi sizofike sikutshele ukuthi njengami esafika sasho ukuthi yeke ukutshela abantu indaba zethu. Ezethu le indaba. Thula meme kuthi khona into edinga ukuhlaziwa sizokuhlaziyela sikutshele. Not everybody is gifted in dreams, in interpreting dreams. And abantu abayi understand leyo nto umuntu athola iphupho atshela umuntu amtshela umsangano or amtshele into that bengafanele kube yiyona. That's why you need to understand isithunywa sakho because isithunywa sakho mengikuhlolela not mengikuhlolela but mongitshela iphupho bese ngiyakutshela incazelo yalo lelo phupho o ngikuhlaziyela lelo phupho. Khona into ezosho ngaphathi kwena ezothi iyona lento noma kuyona lento. But you need to build wakhe ukhuluma uxoxa nomuntu wakho. Angiyakwazi ukuxoxa emjolweni. Ave ngixoxa emjolweni wemma. Umuntu azahleka gigitheke yedwa ubone ukuthi hayi uhappy emjolweni but niyahluleke ezithunyweni zenu. Ngisazi isithunywa I don't know what to say. Akekho umuntu ongakufundisa ukuthi uthini kuNkulunkulu wakho. And once you start building leyo relationship noNkulunkulu wakho ukhuluma naye ukhuleka mina umuntu mengimlapha into yokuqala ngimenzisa yona ngamguqisa ngimthandaza ngithi ayikho into ezodlula lokho. Mina ngiyimina ngiphethwe abantu nalabo abantu baphethwe. Sonke sikhuleka kumuntu oyedwa umvela inqanga uyena inyanga yangempela inyanga ephethe zonke inyanga ezulwini nasemhlabeni. So siyini thina esiphila emhlabeni ukuthi wena uhlule ukukhuluma nomvela inqanga wakho. You need to learn. Ngisho ungayena umuntu ngisho khomkhonyana wami ngesonto wathi uyaqala ukuvula iBhayibheli akaza alifunde. But he was able to open the Bible and communicate and understand what is being said. And you need to ukhona ukuthi uvule understand what is being said whether uyayazi lempilo noma uyazi lempilo nizongenza ukuthi ngishumayeze. But it's faith. Mekhulunywa ngefaith kusuke khulunywa ngento engabambeki, into engaphatheki, into engachazeki, into engaphakathi kuwena ukuthi uyakholwa noma ukholwa. Because ukholwa it's not ukuthi ukhole kulomfundisi omile lapha yana othi Jesus fire bese uyakholwa wena uthi hayi ngempela hey no ingaphakathi kuwena. So whether uyile lapha esontweni noma uyanga mekuthi wena uyahluleka ukuthi uguqe phansi ukhulume nomvela inqanga wakho akekho umuntu ongakwenza ukuthi leyo nto engaphathi kwena ivuke. No one can open isithunywa sakho mekuthi wena ukakazama ukusiqaqa. Fana uzame wena kuqala ukuthi usiqaqe isithunywa sakho. Ningakangeni kophehlo ngoba nisazoshaya ephehlweni. Ningakangeni kulezo indawo lezo. Nisayinina nisahamba nisazama ukunderstand ukuthi no. Lento ingaphakathi kumina. How do I access it? Angiqale ngiguqe ngikhulume. Ngixoxe not ukuthi ubambe izandla uthi dear God, like uxoxa uthi Nkosi ngiyakubiza. Ngiyaguqa kunzima. Nakho ngibiziwe ukuthi angiyosebenza idlozini noma angiyothwasa noma ngiyoba umthandazo or whatever ngibizelwe yona. And ngiyasaba, ngiyoyika, nginovalo. Angazi ukuthi into ezongifica lapha phambili njani. Ngicela ukuthi ube nami uNkulunkulu ukhona ukuthi ungitshela ukuthi lento engiyoyenza kuyiyona yini, lento engiyolanda iyona yini. You wait to be told by healers ukuthi this is the route. But the truth is the first person ofanele umbuzo uNkulunkulu. Because mekuthi ungabuza yena uNkulunkulu akukhombise ngempilo. Ungalindi a bush of fire leka Moses. Ungayilindi le. Khona indlela uNkulunkulu azokukhombisa ngayo ukuthi lento oyoyenza kuyiyona. Bese uyathemba uyakhona ukuthi uhambe ngokuziqhenya ngoba uNkulunkulu wakho wakukhombisa ukuthi lento oyoyenza kuyiyona. And once ukhona ukuthi uyithole lento ngaphakathi kwena and build on that relationship. Noma kuthiwa labantu laba abasibiza ngabathakathi abasibiza ngamadimoni, they don't matter. Because at the end of the day umuntu olazi iqiniso uNkulunkulu. Labantu bayahamba bayaphila emhlabeni nabo bazama ukuphusha ngabo ama-agenda. And nawe fanele uthole indlela ukuthi ngisho umuntu ethi uzama ukuphusha i-agenda yakhe phezu kweyakho, but uyakhona ukuthi understand ukuthi no, angiphetho wena. Mina ngiyabatshela abantu ukuthi yes I'm your gobela, but ugobela for me means ukuthi ngiguide. Mina ngizolekelela abantu bakuthi baphume ekuhluphekeni, baphume ekucindezelekeni empilweni. And that's it. My job is not ukuthi ngibe ubasi wakho, ngibe umlungu wakho, ngihlukumeze. Because there's levels of understanding that is needed, and you need to understand ukuthi at the end of the day mekuthi abantu bakho futhi abayiboni lento abayenza kumina bazophuma bahambe baqoqa umlungu kwabo. So we need to understand ourselves, understand our people, and understand isiThunywa zethu. IziThunywa zethu ngisho ngithi yabo umuntu ohamba nesithunywa ubusisekile ngendlela eyisimanga, because lo muntu kunzima ukudlala ngayo ngoba isithunywa siyofika emini kabhasi sithi lalela ke yaba lo uyanye awungiqoqele lezi zinto zakho, hamba qoqa konke kungokwakho. Uyakhona ukuthi ubone impi isaqhamuka. As much as isithunywa asikwazi ukukulwela empini, isithunywa phela it's not violent. Isithunywa asilwi, siyaxwayisa and siyakhombisa. So siyangibulela ukuthi kwenzakalani kanjani nakephi. Bese ke idlozi ke inkanyambe yangempela, inhlwathi ibhubesi lakho likhona ukuthi liyodila naleyo nto leyo. Lithi ayusijwala kabi lo uzona. Idlozi ke lelo. Ngithandela lokho ukuthi noma kuthiwa kwenzakalani ngimile ukuthi noma ningangenza nje kodwa idlozi lami lizokukhombisa ukuthi liyaluma. So these people balance themselves out. But isithunywa lo muntu lo akalashwa ngisho nangomuthi. Umuntu wesithunywa akalashwa ngomuthi. Nhlobo. Ngeke umlapha umuntu wesithunywa ngomuthi because it will feel wrong. And not lento yabantu esike sibona umuntu umuthi umnika umuthi athi hayi ngeke ngiyawuzithokoza kahle. Hayi umuthi angudli, no. Mina mase ngikunika umuthi khona into ezongitshela ukuthi wena umuthi awudli. And that is isithunywa sakho. Khona into ezowenzeka, khona iphupho ozoba nayo. And angiwachazi lamaphupho because angifuni umuntu athi ube naleli phupho ngoba nakho efuna ukubalekela ukudla umuthi. Isithunywa silapha ngeswasho, akukho kunye. Silapha ngeswasho namanzi. That's why kubalekile ukuthi mekuthi umuntu wesithunywa and usuyazi ukuthi umuntu wesithunywa, lashwa umuntu onesithunywa. Musana ukuhamba izinyanga nihamba izangoma ezidila namadlozi nibe ninezithunywa. Ngoba isithunywa sakho ngesizakala, inkinga yakho ngezizilungi. Inkinga yakhe izolunga ukuthi uhambe uyodipha lapha emanzini, usetshenzwe bese wena ungena ebandleni lezayoni noma yasekuphakameni noma isonto kodwa edila ngemoya, edila nedlozi. Ungene kulelo bandla ukhona ukuthi into yakho ilunge. Ngoba amaladi phela awenziwa ka fire. Yabo, and usuke udinga iladi ukuthi okay mokuthi wena ufuna ukulekelela abantu bakini, ulekelela amanono, ubenzele iladi. Ubenzele ukuthi okay, hayi fanele ngiyobaphakela ukudla, uhambe emanzini uyobathelela ukudla kwabo laphana ngeladi. So all those things ngeke zenzeke ka fire zizokwenzeka lana esontweni eliunderstanda usiko, eliunderstand idlozi. But you need, angikwazi ukustressa lento enough, but you need to build on yourself. Because nihlezi nithi ngigijimela kwabantu abafanele banenzele izinto without first understanding yourself. Umuntu yes uyayidinga ukuthi wenzele izinto, but in ukwenzela izinto nawe ubuwenza umsebenzi ukuthi uba understand abantu bakho, because at the end of the day into ozela ukuzoyenza uzovusa into vele kuwena. Awuzili ukuthi uzothola idlozi. Idlozi likwena. Awuzile la ukuthi uzothola amandiki namandawo bakwena. Awuzile la ukuzolanda isithunywa. Isithunywa sikwena. So mozela uzovusa lento elele engaphakathi kwena, edinga ukusiza usizo nokulekelela ukuthi okay sidinga ukuvuka kodwa manje umntana wethu akasizwa, mesikhuluma understand. So ukhona ukuthi ube nomuntu ozokulekelela ukuthi ukhona ukuthi ubezwe uba understand mebe khuluma cha basho ukuthi enza ukuthi ke wena khona le nkulumo yabo izowenzeka. Ngiyathemba ukuthi ke konke ucacile. Ngiyathemba ukuthi shabalala cela uphume kwi live yami. Ngishayisa amahloni. Ngizokwenza nje ne. I'm gonna read this and then nginishie nalo and nikhona ukuthi inilekelele ukuthi lento into endala into ade yayibhalwa, into ade yabakhona ukukhombisa ukuthi faith is important, and faith is the one thing ezokhona ukuthi ikulekelele noma kubumnyama kanjani. Kula ku Luke 16 Luke 16 ne? No, Luke 11. Yothini manje? Hayi Luke 16 right? No, 17. Luke 17. Hey, uma ubuye uxoxa la, ubuye ufunde la, ukuthi kancane, but it's Luke 17. Verse 11. As Jesus made his way to Jerusalem, he went along the border between Samaria and Galilee. He was going into a village when he was met by 10 men suffering from a dreaded skin disease. They stood at a distance and shouted, "Jesus, Master, take pity on us." Jesus saw them and said to them, "Go and let the priests examine you." On the way, they were made clean. When one of them saw that he was healed, he came back, praising God in a loud voice. He threw himself to the ground at Jesus' feet and thanked him. The man was a Samaritan. Jesus said, "There were 10 men who were healed. Where are the other 9? Why is this foreigner the only one who came back to give thanks to God?" And Jesus said to him, "Get up and go. Your faith has made you well." Ngiyathemba ukuthi nizol understand leli verse because libalekile. Number 1, lichaza ukuthi umuntu noma ungamsiza. But hayi ukuthi bonke bazobuya bazobonga. You need to understand the nature of men and understand ukuthi abantu babuye benze lento ekisuke kubona ukuthi inhliziyo zabo vele zinje. Number 2, uNkulunkulu walapha abantu uJesu. Njoba beshe eBhayibhelini bethi uJesu, but sidinga igama lakhe lesizulu. uJesu wafike wabalapha abantu, oyedwa wabuya wayesethi uJesu kuyena ulashwe ifaith yakho, ulashwe ukukholwa. Kubalekile ukuthi kukho konke esikwenzayo mesithi silapha abantu bethu esihamba nabo ukuthi sikholwe. Because ukholo okuzokwazi ukuthi kuhlezi kucacisela ukuthi lapha lento engiyidinga ngizoyithola noma lapha ngeke ngize ngiyithole. If nihluleka ukuthi nibe ne-faith kulento enihamba nayo and le faith kulo muntu owakubeka la emhlabeni, ayikho into umuntu angakusiza ngayo. But if you have faith and fix yourself and deal with yourself, and then masusengena kophehlo ningena kule indawo nithi nithola usizo, already senayi into enakhe phezulu kwayo, so that masizinto siziya wrong ningaphumi sekhambe konke sekonakele konke, but niphuma senibona ukuthi no, la akusekho right mina, isithunywa sami siyakhuluma nami sithi. I hope ukuthi konke ke kube kuhle kube mhlophe kunina. Ngibonga kakhulu ukuthi nihlezi ningilalela ningibekezelela ngoba edlozini uba nama personality asehlukene yabo. Njengoba mina ngihamba nabantu abawu5 kubuye kuvuke lokuvuleke lo, so mengikhuluma kubuye ngathi ngiyabaleka kancane, but it's because ngihamba nabantu abaningi. So mengihamba nabantu abaningi ngizama ukuba uthandiwe, ngiphinde ngizama ukuba umkhulu bani, ngizama ukuba umkhulu bani, ngizama ukuba umkhulu bani, bese ngibe ugogo hadebe kuvele kube mess. But kube kuhle kube mhlophe bazalwane. uNkulunkulu abe nani, and just understand ukuthi wena yini oyidingayo kuzithongo lakho or isithunywa sakho. Ngisho njalo isithunywa sakho siqhume, but don't ever think ukuthi awunalo inono. Akekho umuntu onganawo amanono. Amanono abantu abasiphethe kwiside lengelosi. That's why mesenza imisebenzi ethongweni ilada sali, ngoba sisuke senzela lona amanono ukuthi nawo akhona ukuthi afike empilweni zethu asibusise. Ngoba la kucindezeleke khona idlozi, inono liyakhona ukuthi libuye lithi mntana mina ngeke ngivuma ukuthi ucindezeleke, nansi inkinga. Abanye bayakhona ukuthi bafike ingane njengathi sesashonelwa abantwana bethu bayakhona ukuthi bafike basixwayise bathi no mama, nansi inkinga iza, bheka lana, because the best nono ongaba nalo umntwana wakho ongasekho, because umntwana wakho owakho uzalwa wena waqhuma emathumbini akho, so lo muntu uyokubhekelela more than anybody. That's why ingane mekuthi washonelwe ingane zakho wangayihlambulula zibe yifeli mnyama, because it's the most purest soul, the most innocent soul, and ibona abakhona ukuthi bavule ngisho inhlanhla zakho eziningi ezicindezelekile. So babhekele nabantwana, nazi ukuthi menizithunywa niphile emanzini, just like umuntu onedlozi lamanzi, izithunywa zisebenza emanzini, zikhona ukuthi ziphakame zihlezi zihlambululekile ziclean, and nibagade abathandazi abanazinto ezithe phecelezi emsamo. Umthandazi udila nomthandazo, udila neyiwasho, udila nesiprofeti. Menezinto ezithe phecelezi bhekani, watch out. Ezugogo wami ehlezi esho noma wash out ubheke, because ngene inkingeni uthi ungena kumthandazi kanti umthandazi unezinye izinto bese izinto zakho ziyacindezeleka. So khulekani, xoxani nemoya engcwele, nikhuleke kumvele enqange, ni understand ukuthi nindle emnyama yabo. Menifunda amaBhayibheli nifunde ngehlo lo muntu omnyama, ningalifundi ngehlo as much as ngifunda iBhayibheli lesingisi, but ngilifunda ngehlo lo muntu omnyama, ngilifunda ngehlo loku understand ukuthi le indaba ezila zisuke ithinta thina ezindle emnyama. Kube kuhle kube mhlophe bazalwane. Thokozani.